Hey everyone, it's Riley's Productions here, doing some modifications to the Cuda's dash today. I'm going to install my Safecraft 5-pound cable kit. I'm going to place this pull cable here in my dash. I have a fiberglass dash, stock replica from VFN fiberglass. So I'm going to drill some holes. I'm going to replace this wiper switch here. It's a stock Cuda wiper switch. I'm going to take it out, and I don't even have wipers, so I'm going to put the pull cable there. I need to enlarge the hole by half an inch. That's probably a quarter of an inch there, so I got to enlarge that hole. A lot of race sanctioning bodies want your fire cable pull mechanism about 12 inches from the window, and that's pretty close to my window there. That's in case if I ever get knocked out in a fire, a race official or a safety crew person can come by and pull the cable for me and possibly put out any fire. So I'm going to do that today. I also took off my fuel gauge. I used to have a gauge pod cup here onto the roll bar, but I've always wanted to clean up the dash a bit, and I'm going to install it here into the dash. I got to drill a 2-inch hole, and I'll put it right there. It'll look a lot cleaner once I'm done with it, but that's what I'll do today, and I'll update the video. Here's an update on my progress. So I was able to install the pull kit onto my fiberglass dash. Looks pretty good. I wired up the safety wire. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So there's a safety pin there, so it doesn't discharge when I'm not at the track. It's a good, nice feature to have. And then there's a safety wire as well too that keeps the safety pin in place. I'm gonna go ahead and wire my fuel gauge. This is a Intellitronics LED fuel gauge, by the way. I have enough line. When I pull out the dash, I found that I have enough line that I'm gonna put the dash or the gauge over here. There's enough space, so hopefully it'll look good. Hey everyone, so I finished the install of the pull cable for the fire suppression system. Looks good here on this new spot with an easy access if someone needs to pull it from the outside. And also, while I was at it, I moved my fuel gauge pod, which was up previously here on the roll bar A-pillar, but then I moved it here and then within the dash, so it looks a lot cleaner. Lose some weight from the gauge cup too. See how it turns on. Looks pretty good. Complements the IQ3 dash. So all in all, it was a pretty intensive install. I had to take off the dash and rewire some stuff, but should be worth it for the results. I'm gonna finish installing the lines for the Safecraft 5-pound system. Like I said, this is just the install of the pull cable. You want it to route where it's not dragging or has easy when you pull the cable, you want it to immediately shorten. See, so there's no drag to how I routed it. It's basically a big C. So when I pull the fire, it immediately shortens. There's no hiccups, there's no snags. So that's how you want it to be. I'm gonna finish installing that, and I need to route the lines, the aluminum lines for the fire suppression system. Two go into the engine compartment, and when one goes to the driver side area, or the driver compartment area. So I'll finish installing that. For now, I'm pretty happy with the results here. I need to put this pin back. This is just a safety, so it doesn't discharge accidentally when I'm messing around with the car or something. But looks good. So I'm about to install the 5-pound Safecraft pull cable bottle. I got some hardware from the local hardware store. These are grade 8 bolts, various sizes if I need the shorter or longer ones. And I got some fender washers as well. The first step is to find a location for the fire extinguisher bottle bracket to be bolted onto. The bracket is an aluminum piece. You have to drill the holes, enlarge them. I enlarged them to 5/16 of an inch. The holes that are pre-drilled into the bracket are really small, so whatever bolts you use there are not going to work. They're just going to shear off. So I drilled them to 5/16, and I'm going to replace these bolts that you see here, which are like grade 5 or 3, really weak ones, with these grade 8 ones that I got from the hardware store. And I'll update the progress on that. Okay, so here's a close-up of the fire extinguisher bottle itself. As you can see here, it's SFI specs certified. Good till April 2020, so that's 2 years from now. Yeah, 5-pound LT bottle, 3M Novec 1230 fire protection fluid. Good stuff. It's 5-pound bottle, or no, 7.7. Wait, there's a warning. So as you can see, it's still pressurized. There's 2 ports. One port is there. The one here is pre-installed with a 37-degree flare from the factory from Safecraft. So I'm gonna mock that up a little bit. I'm gonna install a second port. This port actually goes to the engine compartment, and this port, which is plugged, I need to take that plug out because that's going to route to the passenger compartment. The plug itself is a 3/16, so I'm going to take it off. I loosened it earlier, so it doesn't come off that easy. As long as you have the pin here, it's not going to discharge. Here's the blue tag if you guys are wondering. So as long as this pin is there, it's not going to discharge anywhere. So here's the plug. Here's a shot of the inside. So when I took off the ports for the fitting, it looked like there's some Teflon paste on there. I gotta reattach this other port that came in the box for the kit, the fitting kit. I use Loctite 565 for all my MPT fittings, and it's pretty good stuff. It takes about 24 hours to cure. Just remember not to put a ton on the threads because it'll squeeze out. But let's get some on there. Yeah. I'll get a little bit closer. That should be plenty. So here's the bottle mounted crosswise on the floor panel of the Cuda. I put it in this orientation because it's the best way for the fluid to discharge out of the bottle. In any other orientation, let's say the head was facing towards the rear, it might not escape the bottle as easily as it would if the bottle was perpendicular to the front and rear of the car, such as in this orientation. So let's see, there's the seats. It's also low to the ground. It helps with the center of gravity. As you can see, this is the pull cable that I installed from earlier. I need to cut it right about here just to get an idea of where it's going to mount, just to shorten it, just to manipulate it easier.